Hello, dear wonderful people out there. My name is Marc Rombo, and this is.
Robert Babbage.
Hello, Robert. How are you?
Hello, Mark. I'm fine. I'm good. I'm back in music mode. I'm creating a lot of music.
Wow.
A lot of music.
So, what you're up to at the moment?
Actually, I don't know if you see it, like a huge table full of guitar pedals, and behind me, you probably don't see it as well, is my MS-20, and I sent the MS-20 through all the pedals at once and try to find out how to fuck up the sound somehow.
And what was the result?
Already 3 or 4 tracks. I'm super. Actually, it makes total fun. I'm working with a looper. So, as you know, MS-20 is monophonic. And to play like chords, you have to record note by note by note. But this makes fun.
Cool.
I like to experiment. And this is a living cat, by the way.
What's the name?
That's Kaya, and he is a little bit sick, and that's why he is allowed to play on the mixing board. But actually, it's a mixer here, but he can sleep. He's sick, so he stays all the time with me.
Yeah,
That's fine.
Soon.
So, how are you, Mark? What's going on?
Really good. Yeah, I'm really good. I'm really looking forward to the release of my album. And the Marotopians, which are always watching us, they know that you and I will release albums on Awesome Soundwave this year. And my album is coming in March the 17th. The album will be called Music Made for Aliens. And of course, I'm getting more and more excited from day to day to day.
Of course.
When is your album coming out now?
And we like aliens.
Right.
They told me release date is April. April?
Are you sure?
No. Actually, it's after your album. So I'm really looking forward that yours get released, so they finally can take care of mine.
Yeah, it will come for sure. I assume it will be summertime, but the good things take a bit longer, right?
Yeah, that's totally fine. And till then, actually, because I have all this gear here, quite soon, dear Marotopians, if you like live played analog techno, I will soon do Rob Acid live streams here from the studio with a different camera angle, and I will program everything in real time, completely the old school way, how I did it like 20 years ago.
Like in the early 90s with MIDI chain and Atari 1040.
Yeah, no computer, just a gear, but probably some sync problems and all this shit. But that's the fun of this.
Yeah, and you are mentioning the right thing, because for all loyal Marotopian watchers who helped us finalizing your Rob Acid Best Of album, it happened. Here we are. Gatefold. And the background of your acid machine. We made it! Woo!
Yes. It looks in real life even much better than this picture.
And the name Acid Chronicles
is made here in our group.
Proposed by Marotopian and also chosen by the Marotopians. So I'm very proud of you. Beautiful, yeah, exactly. And I have even better news. Look at this. I'll show you in a second. Look at this Bandcamp page here. Bada boom, bada boom.
It's up on Bandcamp, yes. And the vinyl was there as well. And it looks like I see red letters. the copies that you had for your shop are gone. Sold out.
The first
But I think some new ones will come soon, right? I hope so.
Yeah, in 1 week we will have new stock. But we didn't expect such a high demand in the shop. And Robert doesn't know yet, but today there was the last order before it became sold out. And this order was from a country where we have never received an order before.
Oh.
And the country is Chile.
Chile. Nice.
It was the very, very first time. So if you watch us, Rob Acid fan from Chile, all thumbs up.
The thing
I
is,
was super when I saw this. I mean,
that's super cool. And probably if you don't send it out yet, next week I'm going to Germany for a show, and as well to meet my kids. And I will make some autograms on a couple of sleeves. So it will be like a special thing with my real autograph to be ordered soon.
The next 10 copies in the shop will be together with the autograph.
That's cool.
That will be fun. Yeah, greetings to Detroit back. I just saw a comment from Detroit. Back to this legendary place. Watching from the sweetest sides of Detroit, Michigan. Amazing. Detroit and techno is very important for each other. All right, so let's dive into the topics. Artificial intelligence and making music.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, probably. I mean, if you still live on planet Earth and you watch a bit of news, you probably maybe got heard about ChatGPT, but the whole artificial intelligence topic goes even further than just text, and there are many people working on this topic of artificial intelligence and music creation, and we just want to show a tiny bit of a video that is a little, I think it's interesting, where you type in a few prompts. In that case, how does a club sound in the 80s? And then the AI generates the music without the human input. Just you write what you want, and the AI is doing this. And we have to imagine this is the beginning of this whole topic. So for some people are really afraid of this, and I can fully understand, right? I mean, all this, of course, in the future, you imagine you need, you are a video creator, or you do anything, and you need for 20 seconds some music. So you write some prompts, this, and this, and you have this. So you don't need a musician anymore. So everything that is somehow made before, because this AI is eating up everything that is made, right? I think for now starts the time where a musician or artist in general graphic designer, painter, writer, musician, you have to be unique and do your own thing. All these copycats will be soon worthless because the computer can copy everything.
Yeah, I agree and disagree at the same time. Basically, you're right, but I think one thing will always stay, and this is that somebody needs an idea and the motivation to direct the project.
Of course. Yeah, that's what I mean. We need humans with really cool ideas now.
Yeah, and I mean, this is actually, when it comes to the electronic music scene, it's nothing new. I always say that we are less creators and more selectors. And when you take the beginning of our phase, when we started to make electronic music, we sampled a lot. So we made recycling with already existing audio files. And also we were inspired by the early acid house producers or techno house producers from Chicago, Detroit, Düsseldorf, Frankfurt. And then we made our own music. But you always need inspiration, even if you enter a prompt into an AI website. You need a vision and an inspiration what you want to create.
Right. But imagine now Spotify, and Spotify has a playlist yoga music, and there are already like a lot of tracks that are a certain style. I am imagining quite soon Spotify will have their own computer generated music in their playlists, so they don't have to pay us.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, music is emotion.
It's possible. It's very, very possible.
Yeah, but I'm absolutely not afraid of this. I mean, music is so...
No, I'm not afraid. No.
Yeah. Music is so detailed and so special. And I also talked with our later guest, Dimitri Andreas, about it. It's such a complex thing where we transport our emotions. So if Spotify comes up with AI music, I will have a good laugh, because, I mean, in the second episode of the first season of Marotopia, we had Johansson as a guest. You remember, he talked about artificial intelligence. If you have missed the show, please check it out on YouTube, season 1, episode 2. And he showed us music, and it was horrible. I mean, but maybe we should
watch a bit of this video. Yeah.
Okay, let's do this.
In 80s.
So this, what we are hearing, is completely computer generated. How the computer imagines.
What is this?
It can even play accordion in so many different ways.
Oh, wow.
Music LM is so much more powerful than any of the previous text-to-music AIs because of the flexibility it offers and how it can understand a very long string of text. On top of that, it has a wide generation diversity, as in the same text prompt can generate a wide range of different music compositions.
Sounds like a Spotify track.
The same sample, but with variations. I am just in awe that it is soon possible to have a fully AI-generated movie from only text, and the music can be entirely synthesized based on the visual descriptions. On the other note, in the Music LM paper, they specifically stated that they have thoroughly examined the possibility of model memorization similar to how text-based large language models can have. This means that they have made sure any of the pieces that Music LM generates have a significant difference from any of the data used in its training. While it is obvious that they are trying to protect themselves from from the whole copyright issues that AI art has faced, but I am glad that they respect the ethical aspects and the responsibilities which comes with developing a large generative model. But yeah, that's it for today. Check out their project page for a lot more demos. Unfortunately, they did not release their codes for safety issues, but they did release a new text and image pair dataset called Music Caps that contains 5.5K music text pairs with rich text descriptions. Thank you so much for watching. A big shout out to Androulas Chelias, Chris Ledoux, and many others.
Just as a small introduction into this topic, I think we really walk into a super interesting time as well for, graphics design, right? Just today, the track that I made today, recorded everything, mastered the track, made an upload to my SoundCloud. I needed a cover picture, so I wrote the title of the track into a picture AI, and it gave me a huge selection of pictures. I could choose, download the picture, put it into my SoundCloud, and I had a cover straight away.
As you can see here, this is what I did this morning. Futuristic looking Norwegian forest cat walking on Shibuya crossing with sunset in the background. But the thing is, let's say 20 years ago, if somebody generates such a picture, we would have said, oh wow. And nowadays that everyone can
totally
do
normal.
it on mid-journey, are we still amazed about these pictures? They are still amazing, but for our podcast listeners, how would you describe these pictures with the cat and with these people?
And exactly, let's hope we get some comments. Exactly because of that, I'm creating all the covers for my own label, especially now the new Kelch label. Everything is created by hand. So I use private pictures. I print them out, cut them up, make a picture of them. Right now, I just I'm buying a box of my next project is for Barbit style covers. I'm buying a box of Playmobil figures, and I will make some stories and out of these figures with my sons. So as an opposite thing to all this amazing AI graphics, because I see now, if you look on Beatport, you see this AI cover really, you see them everywhere.
Yeah,
It's
but
really,
I find it a bit boring. But let's talk with our guest about it, because I'm pretty sure he has also an opinion about this. So Marotopia,
Yes.
heartily
Bring in.
welcome. Straight from Belgium, Dimitri Andreas. Hello.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
How do you do, Dimi?
I'm good. I'm good.
Where are you?
I'm close and far away at the same time.
Is it possible that you are next to me?
Is this not a secret?
All good. All
just
good.
one.
No. Oh,
Where is Mark sitting? Somewhere,
where
right?
is Mark sitting?
There is Mark sitting.
Yeah. It's easier to talk when you have two places.
Yeah, Dimi, so artificial intelligence, pictures, music, what do you think? What is it doing with you? What are your emotions, expectations? We want to know it.
Oh, I'm extremely interested in the whole topic because it's a total new area we are going in. Especially as artists, we feel a bit competition by the computers. And the challenge is, I think, to do something that only humans can do and not a computer can generate. So I think, like Robert said, the human touch will always be something that is not copyable. I mean, if you see somebody really doing something with his hands, it makes it a lot more valuable than just seeing something that is generated. Just because you have a certain empathy for the creation, I think.
Yeah, but I also think now it's really the time for the artists to be as unique as possible. To really find your own way, do stuff that probably you never did before.
Yeah,
Right?
it's a challenge, and I think it's really good because, like you say, we have to think really, really very different than anything
Yes.
that existed.
Yeah.
Yeah, Demi, you're also producing videos, and we will later see a few projects of you, what you did, music and video-wise. So when you see these pictures on pages like Midjourney or dreamlike.art, what we showed before, what do you think? Are you still amazed by these pictures?
Yes, I'm amazed because the speed and the accuracy, how it is made, is amazing. I mean, if somebody would ask a designer to do this, it would take him 3 days, and it would not always be as good. And now all of a sudden you have this tool to create something that amazes you in a way that I never thought was possible. Yeah, it's and I'm sure in music it will also evolve in a way that we will hear things that we really like. Now the example that Robert gave us is still like in the baby steps shoes.
Yeah. For
But
now, yeah.
yeah, but in a few years we will be in our couch in the studio listening to something and saying, well, like, it's not only a good composition, a good production, but it's also well mixed and it touches me. Who knows?
Yeah, that's what I think. I'm pretty sure in the soon we will have a lot of AI generated music in Spotify playlists. Really, I'm 100% convinced, and they will be good.
Maybe, but not short term.
Yeah, maybe it will be something like when you go to the countryside in France in summer and you have like a small marketplace where you can buy a self-made honey or something, that it will, being a musician will maybe become something very artisanal. I mean, an old-fashioned job that will maybe not exist anymore in a way.
Yeah, all this program there's a lot of musicians who just do program music, for libraries, for all this music that can be replaced, where you say, oh, soft music, 90 BPM, 30 seconds long. This can be done now by this system, right?
Yeah,
Or
but
film
that's the good thing
composer in the future.
Yeah, that you can really follow the emotions of the movie
Yeah.
in a way that a human, you have to be extremely skilled to do that. Crazy.
Yeah, but
times ahead.
once again, I can just repeat it. You need somebody who has a vision, who has an idea what to do. And when you take music, I think it's much more complex than pictures, because making music depends on so many different elements and factors. I mean, when you take a song, it's the voice. Every voice is different. You can always differentiate two voices. I mean, just listen to me, to Dimitri, and to Robert. These voices are so different.
But
Then
they
you
can be
have-
copied already now with deepfake.
Yeah, almost. I mean, we all know the pages like Uber Duck and all this stuff, but not in a perfect way. And then you have all the instruments, all the effect units, all the different sounds. I mean, even if this day will come where you will just enter, make me a track like this, it depends on the idea, and you must catch and move the people, the audience, the listeners.
Yeah, but
this is crucial.
But most people, a lot. It's maybe dark, but I think a lot of people these days, they put on a Spotify playlist or another streaming service, music for relaxing. If you ask them, just name me one artist who's on this playlist, they don't know it.
Yeah, true, but it's more about easy music, like relaxing music, meditation music. I mean, it's just a synthesizer pad playing with a drum loop. I mean, this is really easy music. But
but that's how it's probably will start. I think, where the AI.
It depends also a bit on our target group, on our listeners, and please be always critical and follow your heart when you decide to buy music, because we do the same. But
of course, yeah.
Once again, I think the question is what we select and what we think is moving us and touching our souls. And this is something which might be hard for artificial intelligence.
But I think I said it once somewhere else. During it in the 90s, right? I was experimenting with psychedelic substances, and I had visions back then. And I had visions of a future where you create a music track, and together with an AI, and really I was imagining this almost 30 years ago. I had this vision that I create a music track, but this music track is almost like a system. The AI will understand the concept of this music. And then you release this music, and the track will adapt to the room where the listener is at the moment, and the AI will understand what's the mood of the listener and will make a live remix of this track in real time. So we as artists, we will create a type of music, and then this music you give this to the AI, and the AI will make like millions of remixes in real time.
But
a certain situation.
The market is full of music, and just the stuff which moves the people is what's becoming successful at the end in Beatport charts, in Spotify charts, and it's all about what touches you. But I see a very nice comment here. Maybe I read it for a second. It's from Danny from I think from Netherlands. The AI can only use what it's learned, as we reinvent games by blending them. It demands more creativity. Interesting where it will be like in 10, 20 years. Exactly my thought. I mean, we don't know what's going on in 10, 20 years.
Yeah, but I think like my thinking is we have to think music a bit further, not as a finished piece. Like now you make your track, it's finished, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes long. It is what it is. I think in the future, music will be fluid. Not just one thing. People will be super bored from listening to the same track 2 times in a row. They are already. I mean, the new TikTok generation is bored after 15 seconds.
After 15 milliseconds.
We live in a very interesting time. Really.
Yeah, also what it does to our
very
brains.
interesting. Yes.
This is also very, very interesting. Yeah, but dear Marotopians, what do you think about artificial intelligence when it comes to music, when it comes to pictures? Please leave your comments, and we are more than happy to read what you think about it. Because, I mean, we are talking about it now, and we have very intelligent thoughts about it, but we don't have a clue. I mean, today is 2023, and in 2033, nobody knows what's going on. So let's see. But a very nice counterexample regarding what artificial intelligence is not able to do is the project, or are the projects Dimitri is running or was running. And I would love to see a video now with a project he did with a belly dancer.
Let's see. Show her.
Yeah, we have seen a wonderful mix
Really
of
good.
belly dance, electronic music, and very nice moves of the ladies on stage. Dimitri, tell us a bit more about this project. How did it? Where's the idea from? When did it happen? And who helped you with realizing this project?
Well, I'm somebody who doesn't like to do the same thing twice. So I always search new challenges. And yeah, for some reason, I met the choreograph it was a classic ballet choreographer, Agnieszka, that was from Poland. And yeah, we talked, and we felt that it could be a good idea to try it. So I composed 1 hour of music that was inspired by what I normally do, more dance music, but I took it a bit further, and I tried to understand how ballerinas dance. And yeah, it was a bit. I'm always attracted to challenges, and it was for me a challenge that I didn't knew I would make it. And yeah, I threw I put it a lot of time in it, and research, and a lot of emotions, real human emotions. And the results, was good, because a lot of people liked it, and the combination of two different arts gives something totally different or new.
Yes.
I saw one question in the comments if the dancers are AI. Probably not, but possible one day.
On video, yes. In real life, that will take a bit longer, I think.
So when somebody watches our stream in 20 years, he or she will laugh about us that we didn't expect it.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? I think real humans will always stay real humans. In a theater, you see the real person. I think you will always feel that it's a robot, even if it's almost human.
I actually, maybe it's just because we are getting old. We don't want to accept this idea that
Yeah,
that
I follow you. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Sometimes you can have a human-like feeling, even if it's a machine. Let's stay romantic.
we love our tools. I mean, I love my TB03. I love my cat. I love my OP1. Why not some AI? I mean, as a I mean, a holodeck like in Star Trek. I'm really looking forward to this.
Me too.
I mean, that's the beginning of this whole immerse audio, and that's the next topic here we can talk about, because I don't know anything about this, but I heard you know a lot about immersive audio, right? So music that is around you in the room and go through you. And
yeah, maybe first I have to explain what immersive audio exactly is. So when we listen to music, normally it's stereo. You have a speaker on the left and on the right. But in immersive audio, you also have speakers on the sides, behind you, and on top, you have also 4 speakers on the cooling. And this way, when we are creating or producing music, we can say, okay, this instrument has to come from this side, and this pianist has to be there, the drummer has to be there, the singer has to be in front, and maybe I want a choir on top of me. And this way you can create a kind of real environment with musicians around you. And I took a bit of risk when I started this adventure, because I never really heard a Dolby Atmos music studio, to be honest. But the moment I connected it and everything was fixed, and I listened to music, I knew, okay, this is it. Because it touches you emotionally in a way that you can normally only experience when you're really in the middle of bands or in between the musicians, because you hear more details. You just it hits your heart and your emotion harder, because it's a richer experience. It's I'm looking forward to give you a demo, Robert.
Yes, please. Yeah, when I'm somehow close to your place, I would love
Always
to come.
welcome.
Thank you. Marc, did you heard this already? Have you heard?
Yeah, you will be flashed. I mean, I visited the studio already a couple of times, and of course, it's very, very difficult to explain what's going on when you are in a room with Dolby Atmos speaker systems. But maybe I can unveil something. We will release an album together in fall 2023. Dimitri, me, and a singer from South Tyrol. Her name is Marlene. We did an album during the lockdown, 2-3 years ago. And a few months ago, we did the Dolby Atmos mixing, or partly. And the album is full of noises and her singing and different instruments like violin, piano, but also lots of percussion sounds. And I was completely flashed when we worked on the music, because all of a sudden music I made became spatial. And all of a sudden there was a voice there and the voice there, and the tambourine was there and the piano was there, and I was, oh wow, I'm so overwhelmed, because I felt like in the middle of the movie, and very difficult to describe it.
Oh, Mark, your voice is fading away. Hello,
Okay.
hello. I hope you are back.
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay. We heard like half of this.
Okay, so yeah, very difficult to explain the experience. So Dimitri, how can we explain it?
It's like, for me, it feels a bit like how I imagine music in my head, but it's real. Yeah,
So
it's
it's
a
a
difficult one.
completely different way to compose, probably, right?
Oh yes.
Well, there are two things. You can mix existing stereo productions in immersive audio or in Dolby Atmos, but you also can, like you say, compose in a Dolby Atmos or in immersive audio, and it's amazing. It's so inspiring to have 13 speakers instead of 2, because you can say to every speaker, you are this and you are this. And in fact, you don't have to mix, or you don't have to fit things in 2 speakers, because it's mixed in the air around you. So it's a very different way of working, and I feel that when I'm making music now, I'm like a lot deeper into it. And I cannot really compare it with something. I didn't do the substances that you did in the beginning of your career, Robert, but I guess it has similarities, because a lot of people that are not musicians that come to my studio and are listening to music for half an hour, they are really starting to cry and are emotional when they are listening to songs they know, because it touches them so much deeper. Like even pop things, like when you're listening to Marvin Gaye, and that was recorded in the 80s, you hear all his backing vocals with a lot more separation, and you really hear him sing in the back of the studio and screaming the backings that you would never hear in stereo. And it's touching.
So we have
And
one question here before it disappears. Sorry, Robert. Camille is asking, do you have to pay for Dolby Atmos license by making music, and which software can do this?
You don't have to pay, depending on the program you use. If you, for example, you use Logic, it's included in the program, I think, in Cubase also. And for Ableton and Pro Tools and other programs, there's a plugin that you have to pay a little bit to be able to export a file. But even immersive audio, you could do it straight out of Ableton. If you have multiple speakers, you put you can put different elements on different speakers. The only difference between mixing like this and Dolby Atmos is that Dolby Atmos is like a kind of way a file is stored, so you can play it on an iPhone or play it in a car that has Dolby Atmos or on a sound bar, and that everything is compatible. So
Can you create Dolby Atmos on headphones? Because
yes, but it's not the same. They use a binaural system, like they imitate how it would be if something comes from the front or come from the back of you. Even though on iPhone they have a system that you have to scan your ear, so you have to go around your ear, and it makes a 3D scan of your ear to calculate how sound would sound when it comes from the back with the shape of your ear. So they are going very far in this to imitate how it would sound in a real room around you. And I think this will evolve until a certain moment you will not hear the difference, because it will be so perfectly imitating the room around you and the dimensions you hear, because we only have 2 ears, but we can hear things on top of us or on the back, and that's all because our brain is able to calculate delays and that way know, okay, the sound is coming from there or there.
It's only electronic impulses which hit our eyes and ears.
But back to my question: if this goes forward, can we soon? Because I don't think I mean, if I'm a musician with a laptop and a headphone, can I do this?
Yeah. Sorry, I was going away from it. You can do it. You can even deliver a file where you have things coming from the back and going all around you, and you can animate certain stuff like that. There is something moving around you, but you will not be able to officially send it in as a Dolby Atmos master, because you need a studio that has this capabilities and the system. But you can deliver it, and you can, for example, if you make it on your headphone, you can come to my studio and do a final check on a system with speakers.
Okay, actually, it's interesting. I would like to try this.
You would love it, Robert. I'm very sure. I mean, you can also try it out already, or everybody can try it out. You need Apple Music and you need the EarPod 2, I think. EarPod 2 Pro. Yes. They support it already. And we have tried it with different things like EarPod Pro, then the EarPod Pro Max, right? The headphones of Apple, and with your speaker system in your studio. And it's overwhelming. And maybe we can also talk about a concrete example, because my last EP on Compact randomized was Dolby Atmos mixed by Dimitri. And when you have these items, you can listen to it on Apple Music. Because I saw one comment, the kick drum has to stay in the center, which is completely correct. But a track usually has more than a kick drum and a bass sound. So where would you put, for example, an arpeggio, a pad, a bass line, Dimitri? What would you recommend to do with these sounds? Or a 303 bass line?
Well, it's 303 baseline. Well, the thing is that most elements that have a lot of energy feel better when they come from the front. When you put them in the back, they feel dangerous. And the reason because of this is that we are also still kind of animals. And when we don't see something and we hear something from the back, we trigger a kind of fear, and something is happening that we don't know. And we had this experience, Marc, in the studio. that you say it like, "Ooh, there's too much from the back," and it's stressing you a little bit. So this is like a really new format, just like when they transformed mono to stereo in the beginning, like some records of the Beatles. They had the singer on the left, the guitarist on the right, the drummer on one side. And now we are also in this phase with Dolby Atmos. We are like experimenting what feels good and how can you do the image that is like 360 image to get a certain vibe. And there are already some things that a lot of mixers do, like backing vocals are great when you put them on top behind you, especially if they are sung softly. Drums are better in the front, and small percussion can be around you, and drone things and all the kind of atmospheric things, or something that really has to come out, like brass players sound good on top of you.
But I mean, I'm a mastering engineer, so I have to work on a lot of music from people. And to be honest, many people cannot work in stereo the right way. So I'm a little bit afraid of having like 6 or 8 or more speaker to deliver like. Okay, how is it with phasing? How does a phaser
What did you
sound?
say about old people before 10 minutes before?
No, it's I'm pretty sure it's amazing. It's just from what I like. I have so many people having problems to create good stereo mixes. Really, a lot of mixes are having massive phase cancellations or are completely in mono, or things go wrong here and there, and I have to repair them and help them to make their mixes nice. How do you work in Dolby Atmos with all this?
Yeah, if I may say something, he works, and then you can overtake Dimitri. He works with stems, so the mix is already ready mixed in a stereo way. And when it comes to Dolby Atmos mixing, of course, the kick, for example, needs to be in the center in front of you. But for the rest, it's a bit about your taste. And for example, when we mixed randomized, there was one arpeggio which was flying from left to the right and over our heads, because it was one element which was just there partially, like a drone in a track, and it came after 3.5 minutes. So it's always a bit about a philosophy you have with your own music. But when it comes to techno music, and correct me, Dimitri, if I'm wrong, sky's the limit. I mean, when it comes to techno, you can do what you want. When you Dolby Atmos mix a concert from the Berlin Philharmonics, then you maybe have to be in mind the positions of the playing people. But when it comes to techno, like in the beginning of our days, you can do what you want to do, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. That's also why I like electronic music, that you can go very wild in these things. To come back to the technical thing that Robert said, I think we're still in the experimenting phase, that we don't exactly have very clear rules like after 70 years of stereo. But there are already some things like phasing issues are also a thing in Dolby Atmos, because you have also left and right, but you have also the diagonal speakers that also can phase or cancel each other out. So to make a mix safe, there's a system that you can switch instantly on the fly between Dolby Atmos and stereo and Dolby Atmos immersive. so you can compare how your mix translates on 2 speakers, even if it's a Dolby Atmos mix, or on 15 speakers. But yeah, I'm waiting for a tool that measures these things with warning stuff or something, but it doesn't, as I know, exist in a fashion that it's easy to monitor.
Yeah, right now we have this. I mean, with my students, this funny thing about we call it stereo police. You know, everything dee, 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 when I hear some phase issues. But right now you cannot see this in
But you
with
can
your system, right?
But in stereo you can hear it if you're experienced. In immersive it's a bit more complex to hear it, but you also feel like you don't have to put exactly the same sound in negative phase at opposite sides. What I feel after this year of experimenting is also that it's better to put one element in one speaker than to put it on different speakers.
Okay.
That translates better in different on headphones and in cars and on different systems. So to be minimalistic in using the speakers or the places where you put things.
Very interesting. I want to try this. Really, it's interesting.
It's a wonderful adventure.
Super. That's great. So I could create some music here because I work in Logic, and send you stems, and you can do a Dolby Atmos mix out of this, or?
Yes, but even in Logic you can do it yourself with headphones. So binaural, even if you don't have Apple headphones, you can use another type of headphone, and some settings I can show you, or I can send it to you. You have to enable the project as a Dolby Atmos project, and then you don't have a master bus, but you have a Dolby Atmos bus. And in fact, that's 128 channels of it's a complex thing of information because it's objects that you can position in the space.
Yeah, maybe we talk after this.
Yeah, but I must warn you, Robert, Dimitri only accepts tracks with minimum 1 minute breaks.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you.
Because Robert
then I'm out.
Robert is a Marotopian certified break hater.
Okay.
If you can catch my drift. So somebody was asking for mono collapse. How does it work? Can you still listen in mono if you switch it? Or can you even switch it?
To be honest, I'm not checking this that much because there are no Dolby Atmos machines playing mono at the moment, but it's a good question. I should. You can still on my monitoring system when I put it on a stereo render of a Dolby Atmos mix. When I put my monitoring controller on mono, I hear it in mono, and it should still be a good song. I mean, having multiple channels or this space is just a technical thing to make the expression of the emotion in the music better. It still has to be good in mono too for this reason, and all the spectrum and the layers have to fit well also in mono, not only because they are spread out. So you have to take a lot of more things in account. It was already difficult to do stereo, but now there are
next dimension. Okay.
Yeah.
Next level.
Yeah, but one thing is very important. Maybe Robert, when you play in Belgium or in the north of France next time, because Dimitri lives in Kortrijk, close to Lille. It's maybe good to save 1-2 days and then do it together, because I mean, it's possible from a distance, but when you enter this journey together and talk about the philosophy of how the track should work in a spatial way, you can really explore new things, and you can even explore your own music, how it what it makes with you in a new way. That was my experience. It's still underestimated for some reason, but it's an amazing experience, especially when it comes to your own music.
Okay, so one day we will have Dolby Atmos DJ mixes and hear them in a club.
I think so.
Okay.
We should.
The DJ mixes, should we listen to some demos of our members? I think
Yes,
they are
but
waiting.
first of all, I would love to see Dimitri's second project.
Yes, sure.
So let's have a look, because it just happened a few months ago.
Yes. Wow.
Once again, applause, applause.
I would love to see, be there. Wow. Amazing.
We recorded, it was also an immersive audio concert. So we placed speakers around and above the audience. And I recorded it in immersive audio. So if you come to the studio, you can see it and feel it a little bit like it was.
I have to come.
That's true. We want acid in 3D, please.
Amazing. And even this small clip was the recording was amazing. You are really good in terms of mixdown as well. Like everything is so precise, amazing.
It feels good to hear this from you.
No, really amazing. Wow.
Yeah, he mixed a lot
perfect.
of bands already. But Dimitri, tell yourself, you are also a chameleon with lots of
I'm
talents.
Too much colors in my brain.
Yes.
Love this.
Yeah, I like I said in the beginning, I like challenges and especially new things. When I do something a few times, like making techno, I made some records, and then all of a sudden it feels like I want something new. And then I start producing pop bands, or I do other experiments. And this was also something that came out of, I think, the Corona period. Yeah, that I met a guy that was a composer and director of classic choirs. Yeah, and I was also that moment into immersive audio, so I mixed this polyphonic choir, some electronics from me, and immersive audio in one project. And I learned a lot from it. It was great experience, and also I felt like live. This also works, this immersive audio, because the audience was like really in trance, even while they were sitting and not taking substances.
They didn't know. So is there a possibility to see and listen to this great show again? Because that would be great.
Will it be released somehow?
I don't know yet.
We should talk about it.
Yeah, we can talk about it for sure. Yeah, now the 2 minutes you saw are some parts of the whole show. It's not like this is a part of the show. It's like it's from the beginning, the middle, and the end. Yeah, we want to work further on it and do more shows, and I think it would be good to release an immersive show also in immersive audio. It would be
for sure.
That's a bit my challenge, to really produce things from the ground up in immersive audio, and also create ideas that are only doable in this way.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Amazing. Super.
Yeah.
Maybe we should invite you in the second half of the year again, and then
see what happened.
Other experiences. Would be lovely to have you back.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of time elapsed already, so I think we should make a separate demo edition, and today listen to 2 demos, and then next time we should make a separate.
Yeah, time is running. Right? Time is running out. Yeah. Maybe next time.
Next time for sure. Dimi, do you want to join us for the demo session?
Oh, with pleasure.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Then let's listen to the first one. Here we go.
Okay. Andre, our man in the background, is taking care of us.
Oops. Sudden end. Robert,
Are
where
you
are you?
okay?
You have to switch on your mic, Robert.
Oh, my mic was muted. So I
Yes.
just asked, where are you?
Yeah, we were confused. Okay, Dimi, you are the guest, so you are first. What do you think about this track from Danny
Yeah.
and Nell?
I was really getting in the mood, and the all of a sudden stop woke me up from a dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. I think the elements, everything was well balanced. The stereo image was okay. Especially in the beginning, I liked the way everything was set up. Yeah, it's a good, nice trip. There were no extravagant surprises, but was a good, dreamy trip for me. I liked it.
So when you close your eyes to this track, where are you and what do you see?
What was I seeing? I see your fridge.
Okay, it's
You
a big
know,
surprise.
yeah, I was in the south in the sun, but with some chill water around me. Yeah, nature and no war around me. Very calm atmosphere and yeah,
Peaceful mood.
peaceful mood. Yeah.
Robert, you have the word. Robert is frozen.
It was a bit too cold for him.
Yeah.
Needs a bit of warmth. No.
Yeah, I think he lost his internet connection, maybe. Or he's too shocked. I don't know. Maybe he's too shocked. Okay, then I continue before Robert comes back. Yeah, now it disappeared, right? No. Ah, Danny is there, right? Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, Danny. Welcome to Marotopia.
Hello.
How are you?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, how
What's
do you do?
I'm great. Yeah, I'm okay.
So tell us something about you. Where are you from? Where are you based? What's your job? And why are you making music?
Um. Oh, let me mute the other one. Yeah. Um. Well, I'm Danny. I'm from the Netherlands. Lived here my whole life, and 40 years old. And yeah, I started making music again after like the last 2 years, when the whole lockdown started, and yeah, I wanted to do something more. My brother has a studio, and yeah, the light got ignited, and I started playing around with the computer a lot, and then I bought some gear and more gear and more gear, and yeah, I was really enjoying the whole Dallas freestyling and just working with the gear and finding out what works, what doesn't work, but I was still like missing stuff, and recently switched back, well, to Ableton from Logic, and that really blended in with the whole Dallas workflow. And yeah, since then, it's much easier to translate the ideas that I have back to what I'm looking for. But
What's your favorite gear, Danny?
um, that should be the Sub 37 by far. You can hear little tweaks and twats in the song as well. But you just turn it on and it just gives you goosebumps, and it just works. I like the Digitact because of the, I don't know, it's kind of complicated to get your head around, but it really gives you a lot of creative freedom and really to get out of the standard production type of sequencing. And I like to use the MPC as well as like a main brain for performance. But yeah, the last 2 years were mostly learning. So if you check out my SoundCloud, it's all over the place in styles, in genres, in things that I really enjoy. So for now, yeah, I mean, this track is nice. I made it like in one day last week. And yeah, I think mixing could be better. And I mean, we're trying, especially if you're doing dollars, you're like creating the music. You're the drummer, you're the bassist, you're the mixing engineer and the mastering live at the same time. So really gives a lot of challenges. But I wanted to produce more, and this was the opportunity to go back into live and just work more fluently, in a way.
Yeah, we have a novum at Marotopia demo feedback. You made Robert speechless and frozen for 2 times, so he disappeared again. So I take over.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we cannot argue about music, so it's like always just my personal impression. But there are 2 things which popped into my mind when I listened to your track. And the first thing is, I mentioned it already a few times at Marotopia shows. When I make a track, I consider the track a bit like a movie. And hey, Robert, you are back. Great.
I don't know. It seems I have a very strong star outside.
Yeah, we thought that the track made you completely speechless. But yeah, I continue. So maybe the storm is again disturbing him. No, but a track is always a bit like a movie, and a movie has 2 main roles. Basically 2 main roles and a lot of side roles. And in your track, I didn't recognize any main role. So you choose good elements. You proved that you understand something about electronic and techno music. You understand it and you feel it. But I was missing the main element which keeps the track together. So when I think about the track now, there is no element I remember, actually. And of course, you can say now, I don't need main elements. Maybe that's your philosophy, but if this is not the case, then I recommend to focus on 2, 3 things which carry the substance and the elements which move the listeners in the track.
Thank you. Yeah. No, I recognize what you're saying. It was, the second part of the story needs to be a bit more elaborative. Somebody has to take center stage in that kind of way. But like Dimitri said, the idea was to have a really dreamy, trippy kind of Suara type of vibe to get into a specific mindset and just open it up with a classic super saw, but take you back on my trip soon afterwards. But the second part needs to be a bit more elaborative. I totally agree, including the end.
Yeah, the second thing has to do with the first thing. So I was also missing the flow. So I think when it comes to an electronic club track, it's very important that it's kind of flowing. And when you try to make too many elements prominent, there is always a danger that you break this flow. And I mean, electronic dance music is most of the time, in a way, pretty simple and minimalistic. And when you focus on the main elements, and you I always say you treat them like a queen and a king, and then you have a flow and a line within the track which holds the track together and which gives the track something fluent. And yeah, and then you then as a listener you remember which elements stayed in your brain. So this is what I recommend. And another little thing is, I also recommend to use atmospheric sounds or noises. I can highly recommend a sample collection from a guy called Dimitri Andreas on systematic sounds. He collected a lot of amazing sounds, and they are about to go online again. They were offline for a while, so they will be online again soon. And he collected a lot of sounds. Maybe you can tell us something about the sound pack, Dimitri, because it's really worth to check it out.
First of all, wonderful news that it's coming back online. Because
Yes.
a lot of people were asking me.
Like a red wine again.
It will be better than before.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, no, a few years ago, I think, I made the collection of more than 1,000 samples, I guess. And there are a lot of field recordings. I like to incorporate real recordings of things that are not even musical in my music, and that's why I also put these in my personal sample collection. Because if you use a sound, it can even be the most stupid thing recorded somewhere. You take a little bit of the energy of this object or this place in your music, and it enriches this a lot. Like Mark says, sometimes just adding a layer of something, you can even play with it with effects or delays or I don't know. It can give a very original taste and richness to the music.
Yeah, and I think also the combination of electronic sounds and these natural sounds or noise or effects or drones can make something very special. And yeah, it's funny that we have you on the show tonight, Dimi, because this is exactly what I'm missing in Dennis' track. So can you do something with our recommendations?
Definitely, yeah. There will be a new version with some more of a story coming up. But yeah, I just wanted it was more of a showcase track I made for the show.
All
So-
good, all good. I mean, we are more than happy to hear what you guys are doing, and you are also on our Discord server, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then we stay in touch. Thanks for joining us, and I hope
Thank
we
you for
see
having
you
me.
again soon. Have a good one.
Bye.
Ciao,
Thank
ciao.
you. Bye bye.
All right, I think we have to finish the show here because Robert disappeared, but now he's back. Yeah, this is live. This is live streaming. He's
Yeah,
back.
there's a storm
storm
called
over?
There's a storm called Helios over me,
Okay.
Oh,
and it goes over Malta towards northwest Libya. It's really storm outside.
oh my God.
Okay. We cross fingers.
Yeah. So I missed something.
You missed something, but you know what? You can watch the show again on YouTube, for example.
Okay.
So if you haven't seen the entire show like Robert, then go on YouTube afterwards. You can go on Robert's channel or on my channel, and then you can watch this Marotopia episode once again and listen to Danny's track and our recommendations again. So, number 2, we have one last demo before we close the show.
Danny was cool. I mean, I heard his track already on the Marotopia
Server.
Discord server. So, yeah, good man.
Yeah,
He
and
was
we
good.
haven't destroyed him, so I think we gave him some We encouraged him, right?
Yeah, just a bit more
Yes.
bass. I was missing a bit of low and just a last thing. Okay, next demo. As soon I hope I don't disappear. So let's
Yeah.
jump
One
into
last demo
next.
for us.
Mhm.
Music that can make me dance. Begin with a loop. Drums hypnotize me. Deep, warm bass is like sex. It moves my hips. Left, right, left, right. Gentle, fast, made up by keys. They must be in harmony. Chords, they are air. I need to breathe. In, out, feel that. Some chords make me smile. Some make me jump. Higher and higher. And ask for more. Melodies are simple. And they make me think. Wake up. Listen. DJs need dancers. Dancers need DJs. DJs need dancers. Dancers need DJs. DJs need dancers. Dancers need DJs. DJs need dancers. Dancers. Forget about drinks and groupies. They're not models. They're wannabes. Forget about money and drugs. I am the VIP, and the only need for you up there is that I am down here dancing to your beat. To your beat.
All right. And Natalia is
Hello.
here. Hello,
Hello,
Natalia.
present.
How are you?
Everyone can see me now. Oh yeah, excellent.
We can see you and we can hear you. How are you?
There is a fabulous delay right now between my computer and the phone.
Ouch. Get the talk. It's the
I
problem.
can't. Hang on a second. I just have to turn down this moment.
Yeah,
Well, talk
this is
about
live.
loops. That was in the loop completely. Double.
Yeah, tell us, how are you? Where are you from? And tell us more about you.
Well, I tried last time. I couldn't connect. I am in England. That's where I live. I'm not from England. I'm from a country that doesn't exist anymore. So yeah. So this is my home. I work, teach here at my residency.
And where in UK are you from? Where are you based?
South of England, right now in the middle of the forest, out in the sticks.
Cornwall?
No, Cornwall. That's kind of too far south. I'm southwest.
Southampton.
Yeah, Southampton, but just away from Southampton because I'm recovering from pneumonia, so I need fresh air.
All right. Yeah, great to have you on the show. I mean, we know you already from the Discord server and from your comments. And now great to see you in person. So I give the word.
Sorry about the comments.
No, all good. I mean, this is what the show is about. Thanks for this. So I give the word to Dimitri. You have the first word regarding Natalia's track.
Yeah, so in the beginning, the first moments, I thought, like, it had something, it reminded me when I was making music when I was very young. It has something simple, but then it evolved and there were elements coming in that made it more interesting. I think there were some good ideas in it, and some things were good produced. It could have be, for me personally, maybe a little bit more bassy and a bit more energetic. But yeah, it had also a totally different vibe than the previous song. I was more in a club, I don't know, in Paris 20 years ago, under the ground somewhere, when I was listening. Yeah, something like this. And yeah, it evolved in something good. Like at the end, there was a kind of acidish loop that I liked. I think you can make it, for me personally, a little bit fatter with distortion, and maybe you should work a little bit on the character of the sound, because now some sounds a little bit easy for me, but at the other hand, maybe that's just cool. So that's my personal.
It's not cool. It's not cool because I made that particular sound in Reason. I used Sequencer 16, a little demo thing, and it sounded like a 303 sound, and it's the most simplistic way to make acid sound. So now I had a lesson from Mr. Acid, and he showed me how to do ABL3, and I think I could do better, much better.
Yeah, but that's it. Also the percussion sounds. I'm sure you can enrich these sounds so they touch everybody's emotions even a bit deeper.
Reverb?
No, not real. That's it's not that I can say like this effect or this effect, but reverb could be something, but it will not be the key. It's true that everything was quite dry in the mix. I like a little bit of wetness.
Nice, yeah.
But you...
Why not? Why not?
We are professional here. But
no, it's a point.
The thing is, there are two ways to use reverb plugins or machines is that you use it, that you hear, okay, there's a reverb on it, but you can also use it that it only changes the color of the sounds without really being an obvious reverb. And I think in this style, if you use very short reverbs, like first reflections, they call this, it could give a lot more character to the sounds. You have to check maybe in your plugins. You can see in the reverb plugins early reflections and
Yes,
and
I have Sonox reverb where I can construct whatever I like.
yeah, well, use this one and try out to how it sounds if you put only early reflections and how it sounds with the longer reverb, and try
It's interesting because
them.
then it will be like delay.
Except if it's really shortly after the original sounds. Because if you like use a reverb that starts 10 milliseconds after the original sounds, you will not hear it as a delay.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It will just.
It's interesting. I never thought about it. I'll try.
Yeah, Dimitri, I think it's really time that you join our Discord server, because we have one channel where Marotopians can post their music, and you would be a perfect addition to our server. I will give you the link.
Give me the link. Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. From my side, Dimitri said already a lot of right words. To me, it's one of the best tracks I have heard in this Marotopia time. I like the way you just do it. I mean, of course, there are technical things to discuss, but it's the technical thing is not what interests me primary. So it's more the vibe, and the vibe was really catching me. I really like the vocal and would like to ask you whether it's your vocal or from somebody else.
Yes, it is my vocal.
Or artificial intelligence, maybe.
No, it's not. No, even though I'm called Natalia Data, I'm not artificial. I'm fully alive.
This is really good news and good to hear. A few people wrote Miss Kitten, which I can't agree to at all. I mean, both are female vocals in a spoken way, but Caroline's vocal sounds completely different. I like your vocal. It was maybe a bit too much of information. So maybe less is more, but I would have to listen to it again.
It's an acapella that can be divided into parts, and
it reminds me a bit on a track on Ovum called Love Technique, which came out like 10 years ago and which I'm still playing, which has to do with the 303 bass line. And I would love to listen to the track again. And another thought I had was maybe it's time to start with Marotopia, the label, this year, so that we start to think about releasing your music and developing music with Marotopians, where we think it's a good idea to release it. So, but Robert, yeah, great. And Robert is not in. That's a problem at the moment. So the storm in Malta seems to be serious and hopefully not too serious.
He didn't leave the stage because he didn't like my track.
Yeah, he was too shocked. Yeah,
it doesn't apply to him anyway. I was talking to the DJ. He's not a DJ.
No, but the vocals are really good, and I suggest that we talk about it in our next episode when Robert is free of any storms and online again.
Okay.
What do you think? You want to join us again?
I would love to, and I will reduce the vocal and see if I try the technique that.
Please continue working on it. Post it in our Discord channels, and next time we would love to see you again. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
See you again. Ciao.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, Dimi. This is the first time Marotopia is finalized by me and somebody else than Robert.
I can play Robert.
Yeah,
on
you can
this.
play Robert. Okay. Yeah, kind of. But what can we do with our podcast listeners? They don't know your haircut now.
No.
Yeah, thanks a lot for joining us. This was Marotopia season number 2, episode number 6. A big thank you to Andrei Sirotkin. He was, like always, our man in the background and doing everything in the background, like displaying the comments and playing the videos and the music. We will be back for you within the next weeks and we'll let you know on our Discord servers. Thanks for joining us and goodbye.